As is so often the case, especially on this trip. I'm sitting here, the sun is just finally behind the trees. I'm not dying of, heat exhaustion anymore. And I was just finishing up the last edit for today's video, and a couple guys just drove up. I should have got them on camera, but a couple guys in a dark green Subaru Outback, surfboard on top and everything. Yeah. I think they were good. They were like about to turn around, and then they saw me and they stopped to see if I was okay, make sure I didn't need help or something like that. So we get to talking and I explain what I'm doing out here. And the one guy's got a brother in the Marines that just got out, and he's like, he totally could see what I was talking about. You get out of the military and it's just kind of rough. So yeah, we talked for, I bet we talked for half an hour, 45 minutes, and as they're leaving, they dropped me off an apple and a bag of chips and a couple sparkling waters. So thank you very much. And yeah, to the guy with the brother in the Marines there that just got out, yeah, check in on him, make sure he's doing okay, and tell him he's not alone. But yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, you meet the nicest guys on the road out here, seems like. And anyway, yeah, thank you. End of a rough day. It's nice to get somebody to talk to again. It's about 5:50 in the morning on Saturday, the 11th of June, 2022. The bike is just soaked, covered in dew. The sleeping bag is wet. Just getting up. Sunrise is coming. It's going to be a while. I hate rolling the bag up when it's wet, so I'm trying to decide how I want to do that. I don't want to sit here for too long waiting for it to dry either. It's going to be a while before the sun heats it up enough to dry things out. I thought this was kind of cool though. Layer of mist in the valley over on that side. And also over there. You can kind of see it coming off the hill here. So it's definitely wet. Should be a beautiful day though. Yep. Anyway. Got a decent charge on the bike last night, so should be able to roll pretty good. Let's see, what do we actually have? Yeah, 45 volts. 54 would be full, so it's not really full, but better than nothing. I was down into 40 before, so if I can roll, well, let's see, Santa Rosa is only 15 miles away, so I might stop there and take a break and just let the bike charge. And then after that, we'll hopefully be out of the super steep hills. We'll see. Yeah, soggy morning. Alright, 6:30, there's sunrise through the mist. I've already wiped the panels off once and they already got more water on them. Everything is just soaked. I checked the sleeping bag and it really wasn't too wet. It was just damp on the surface, so I figured, alright, roll it up, put it in the bag, or else it was going to get wetter instead of drier at this rate. So over the weeds, there's some cattle out there, and up on the hill there's a bunch of Holsteins. Last night they were coming from this way, so the farm must be over there. I think I saw some buildings, so they probably got milked last night, and then they kind of slowly worked their way around and off into yonder hills. So yeah, seems kind of funny when you think about what land would sell for out here. You know, they're hanging onto their family farm so they can run just a few cattle. It's not like a huge herd. Can't imagine. I mean, just the numbers, it doesn't make sense. Why not just, build houses or something like that? But I guess it's nice to see them. Alright, the world is coming to life. Now the traffic starts. At the moment there's no wind, so I should get rolling. Alright, 6:58. We're not moving super fast. Completely socked in. Anyway, we're all loaded up and ready to go. Tried to dry the seed off, but still got drips coming off the bottom. I've had people ask me if I could harvest dew in the desert, and I'm like, I've only seen dew in the desert like twice. It just does, we don't have any humidity like this here. Out here definitely, but where I live, no, it wouldn't be practical. I mean, it's free water if you have it, but it's like there's way more rain than dew, so not really a factor that I can deal with there. Here, yeah, I could probably grab a washcloth and dry off the panels and use that to clean myself off. Would be an option for maybe later. All right, let's go. All right, it's about 8:30 in the morning. No, I did not camp here. I got the trailer one wheel up on the curb there to get me a better angle. That got me from 1 amp of charge to 2.5 just tilting it, so that does make a pretty good difference. And yes, I did experiment with tilting panels on one of the trailers, and in the wind it was horrible. But aside from Texas, I haven't had that kind of wind very often, so I might consider it for the next one. Anyway, I'm gonna sit here for a while. I pulled the batteries down pretty hard yesterday, and I just didn't really get them fully charged last night. And I'm going up and down some hills here coming into town. There is a Walmart about 10 miles from here, so the plan is to get there and get some more Cliff Bars and stuff, and then we'll go north again. So I'm gonna just sit here, and now that I've got cell phone coverage, I'll check some email and take a break. Hanging out at a park, letting the bike get a recharge. I'm getting about 3 amps of charge now. It's just about noon, so I figure I'm going to sit here for at least an hour and get a good charge before I hit the road. I didn't get any charge this morning when I left. I had some charge from last night, but not enough. The big hill I had to climb. Oh, I think I edited out that whole part of the video on the last video. So I'm riding along. See a sign for a beach. Okay, that looks good. It's a few miles out of the way, but you go check it out. Turns out it's a private beach. You had to pay to park. I didn't even get that far, but to get to that, I was up and down a really steep hill a couple of times and way out of the way. Coming out, I pulled the batteries down so hard I ended up walking about a mile, pushing the bike up the hill because I didn't have enough power to get out of there even. Yeah. So, time I got to to where I set up camp, it was about 5 o'clock. So I got maybe 2 hours of sleep of charge in the afternoon, but not enough. So, got to the Walmart, got some groceries, pile of Cliff Bars and stuff. Oh, got a new hat. My Texas hat was just so gross looking. I'm like, I just threw it away. Anyway, so got some stuff at the Walmart, and I was reloading my water bottles and just sitting down and eating one of the Cliff Bars I had just bought, and security was over there asking me if I was shopping, and I'm like, well, I held up my food. It's like, well, I just bought this. I was going to eat a snack before I hit the road. Oh, no, you can't sit here. You have to leave. And I just looked at it. I was like, are you serious? You know? I'm like, yeah. So we talked for a few minutes, and he's like, well, okay. Thought he'd be nice and let me charge a little bit, but I realized on the opposite side of the freeway here, on this side is the park, so I'm like, yeah, I'll get out before I can cause this guy any more heartache. So come over here and watch the geese for a while and let the bike charge. So the trick now is to find shade to sit in with picnic tables and leave the bike out in the sun. Otherwise, you're sitting in the sun, that's just hard on you, so that's no good. So it's a matter of finding the perfect spot. And next I'm going to start looking at the map and figure out my route. I think I can find a parallel road next to Highway 101. This is 101 right here. I can't get away with riding on the freeway in town, but once we get out of town, there really isn't any other option, so then you can typically ride on the freeway, as long as there's not a lot of on-ramps and off-ramps, because that could be kind of tricky. So, but the goal is, what I'm thinking, once I'm on the freeway or on a flat highway, you can make a lot better time than what you can going surface streets and up and down and through neighborhoods and stuff. So that's the plan. I gotta say, the best thing about traveling by yourself is you can make up the rules as you go. This is really the first week it's honestly been warm. Most of the time I've been just on the low side of comfortable. So now I gotta get used to being warm again. I mean, it was warmer in March when I left Texas than it's been on the rest of the trip. It seems like even Death Valley really wasn't hot. So today and yesterday, I'm really starting to work up a sweat. So I'm like, all right, spot where I can park the bike up there, stump I can park me down here, and we'll just take a chill for a while. Yeah. Honestly, if I could pick a nice even pace that would keep up with solar, that would be better. I'm actually getting closer on that. I finally figured out there's an automatic cruise control setting on, this is on the old motor with the old controller. And what it'll do is, like, you hold the throttle for a few seconds without moving it, and then it'll just remember that speed or that setting. I'm not really sure that it's holding a speed, but it's holding kind of a power setting. So, I keep looking at the wrong spot. Over there. Okay, sorry. Eye contact is weird. Anyway, so I'm going to look off into the sunset, or not in the sunset, off into the view. Down by a river now. So, yeah, anyway, so if I can, like, the old motor controller doesn't have an easy way to set an exact speed per se. Like, you can hold the throttle, but it's like just really a short throw, and it's hard to maintain that, and your thumb gets tired after a while. On the new bike, also on the new settings, or on the new motor, one of the parts I don't have on the bike yet is a pedal assist sensor, which is going to make a huge difference. Pedal assist, the motor doesn't start until you actually start pedaling, which is awesome, right? Because then you can coast and the motor will coast, and it saves a little bit of power. So if you're coming over the top of a hill and you just want to coast for a while, you just stop pedaling. It's totally natural. So I don't have that working on this bike. The old rusty bike, the pedal assist sensor just quit working, and so I took it off and just didn't replace it. So I've got the parts for the new bike, but it'll be compatible with the new motor, not with the old motor. So I didn't put it on yet, kind of thing. Anyway. So what I've been able to do in the last couple hours is I could set the cruise control to be at about approximately 1/3 throttle is one of the settings I was playing with. So I go in power level 3. 3 is typically about faster than I want to go for doing distance. So I'd go level 3 and then hold about 1/3 throttle. That gives me 10 to 15 miles an hour depending on the terrain, and I'm getting some good miles now. So now that now that it's warm, I got to keep stopping for a break, which is okay. I'm not setting any specific miles yet, but one other thing, I'll get back to that, I guess. So it's just kind of like, all right, try to pick a power setting that will kind of let me go further on solar, I guess is the biggest thing. 200 watts if I pedal is actually pretty close, so I'm not using very much battery right now. It's just kind of sort of staying the same. So power coming in, power going out, it's just about equal. So I'm not really burning through the battery. What I'm trying to do the last couple, let's see, I've taken 3 breaks this afternoon. Well, 4 if you count Walmart, and 5 if we count, yeah. Anyway, I don't usually take that many breaks, I guess. So I stopped at the cemetery because I had completely wiped out the batteries this morning. And then I stopped at the Walmart, and then the security guy asked me to leave. And So then I went to a park that was close to the Walmart. That's where the geese were. I sat there for probably 45 minutes or something like that. I guess what I have to think about is for this to work, I need to be able to sit still for at least an hour at the highest, peak part of the day when I get the most sun. Otherwise, it doesn't do any good. So, working on that. I found a campsite that I can make it to tomorrow. So that'll be a place that I can get a shower. I'm looking forward to that because I really could have used a shower a couple days ago even. So I got to start thinking about more showers more often. Now I'm looking at the river, and the one sign said private beach, so I can't get in there. But there's got to be a way. So I'll find one. If I can just get down there and soak my head for a few minutes, that would be pretty good. Been riding through wine country for the last hour. I guess I should stop and get a video. It's pretty. Nice windy road. Not quite as hilly as I saw on the coast. I'm still trying to get flat and straight, but this isn't too bad. Yeah, if you tell the GPS you're on a bike, it sends you off in some pretty wild goose chases, but at least it's trying not to kill me on the freeway, right? It's gotta be worth something. I saw one sign that said Merlot. That's the only thing I recognized. I'm sure these are something different. Pretty cool. Oh, jackrabbit. 2. It's about like the ones I got in Texas. Black tipped ears. Hey there, big guys. Did not expect to see those here. Saw a bunch of deer earlier, but never can get a shot of them. Alright, off we go. Alright, current sit rep. About 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm kind of on the top of a hill. That way I can see like to the next corner, so it's a pretty good line of sight. This way I can't see very far. Right here, like at the edge of the shadow, there's a gap that I can get the bike through. And kind of slide around behind the bushes. Another gap there. And there's a little gap right there that if I push back, I'm not really visible from the road too much. So as long as I'm sitting down, they wouldn't see me. That's about as good as it gets. Yeah, strategy. So the trick is getting into there without being seen, but in the meantime, out here is where the sun is. So since it's only 4:30, I'm letting it charge as much as I can. And we're getting almost 3 amps of charge right now, which is pretty good. 2.5 now. So let it just add up as long as we can. The sun is getting lower. I was parked on the other side of the road, then I realized with the crown of the road, if we tilt this way, the sun is that way. So let the bike lean over a little bit towards the sun. Gets a little bit more charge. It all adds up. Solar is a lot like a dripping faucet. You don't necessarily get a huge amount of power right away, but if you can let it add up, that's enough to get up the hill. So, yeah. All right, about 5:30. There's the road. There's the camp. Slightly visible down there is a red gate. I did have a car drive through it earlier. My taillight might be sticking out just a little bit too far, but I don't think they saw me. So, good thing about mostly military gear and muted colors. Don't stand out. I just feel weird about those guys that have bright orange tents and stuff. It's like, dude, how can you hide? Going this way, like in that direction, they'd see me a little bit more. But coming this way, they'd be right, it's 40, 50 miles an hour. They should be looking at the road, not looking at me. As the sun gets lower, I'm going to be more and more in the shadows, so Should be fine. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and edit the video. I don't have any signal right now, but get it ready for upload tomorrow. And I just realized I've got the GoPro footage from the Golden Gate Bridge I haven't edited yet, so let's see if I can put that together. I needed to clear some room on the hard drive, or on the phone, to even be able to look at it, so maybe I can do that tonight. Yeah, alright. Yeah, oh, new hat. The Texas hat, rest in peace, had to go. It was pretty skanky. This one is, I should have saved the sticker, supposedly, oh, it doesn't have that adjustment in the back, it's actually elastic. And it's a breathable, wicking, cooling hat. So far so good. I've been really missing having a hat when you walk around in the sun. Today I'm wearing it under the helmet, which seems okay. It's giving me more of a sun visor, so couldn't hurt. If it bugs me, I'll take it off again, but anyway. That's it for that, the end of the fashion. Oh, and I had to get something that matched my gray shirts. I got 3 of these shirts, so yeah. Anyway, as always, thanks for all the support, and for anybody new, this mission is for the 22 veterans that are committing suicide every day. My job is to help remind people of that happening, and just about every day I manage to talk to somebody just in passing, so we're doing our best to get the word out. The trip is basically funded by donations, so if you'd like to help me out, there's a link in the description, or just go to my website, carlincom.com. I've got links to Patreon and PayPal. If I need money right away, PayPal is the fastest. Patreon and YouTube members and the YouTube Super Thanks, that little heart button below the video, I get that at the end of the month. But some days I just need to restock on the Cliff Bars, the important ones. Yeah, anyway, so that is that. As always, yeah, thanks for the support, and stay tuned. We got about probably 3 more days in California at this rate, maybe 4. Then we get out of California. We've been in California for like forever, it seems like. Yeah, it's like, wow, what's happened in California? We had Death Valley, we had the trailer breaking in Death Valley, we had Zippy coming to rescue me in Death Valley. Thanks, Zippy. Frank. We had to buy a new trailer, had to move all the electrics over to the new trailer, had the bike breakdown, old Rusty, had to buy a new bike, and then we did the Sun Trip race, got the brand new motor. 3 days later, managed to fry the motor controller, so then we had to put the old motor back on. Yeah, it's been a heck of a trip. So, yeah, basically without a lot of people helping out, I wouldn't have gotten very far on this trip, so much appreciated. None of the things that I expected to happen have happened, but everything else has fallen apart, it seems like. So the good thing for me, as far as I'm concerned, I was able to do the ride, and I honestly wasn't sure if I could do it, so I'm feeling better about that. So yeah, anyway, plenty more to come. We may or may not finish all 22 states this year. I realize it's a tough year for everybody, so we'll kind of adjust as we go. I do need to get up to Washington State. I've got family up there. I promised I'd show up at least, so haven't seen them for years, so it's about time. Then we'll work our way back. We might cut a couple thousand miles off the trip, though. So if it happens like that, what'll happen is we will see all of the western states this year. Maybe we'll do the middle states next year, and then the eastern states the year after. So we break it up into 3 years instead of 2. And if we can get some sponsorship, all the better. And in the winter, I'll work on sponsorship and networking with other organizations that might be able to help, and also rebuilding the trailer to make a super trailer that's more appropriate to what we're doing. A couple plans I haven't talked about much. One of the guys I met on the road, Richard, he was doing touring, and he had a few of the people I've talked to have had bike. Man, I got this one fly trying to go up my nose. A few of the guys I've talked to have had bikes set up for touring, but Richard especially, his bike had on the front forks, I think he had suspension. Maybe not, because he had carbon fiber forks. I don't remember now. But he had cargo pods basically attached to the front forks, which looked pretty cool. And I mean, these are one of these guys that had all the super lightweight, you know, $400 sleeping bags, $350 tents, that kind of thing. Not something I'm looking to do exactly, but what I realized after thinking about it, if I could move some of the stuff up to the bike, so front handlebars, front forks, rear panniers, maybe rear cargo rack, I could put most of the stuff on the bike. And if I moved the batteries to the bike, then I'd have an option that I could ride the bike without solar if I needed to for at least a few miles, which I can't do right now, because I built all the batteries and the solar controller and everything on the trailer, because that's where the panels were. Pros and cons. But so I'm thinking, yeah, the next year's version, if I moved more stuff to the bike, then the trailer could be much lighter, because I've been having a lot of trouble breaking trailer hitches and that. So if I can reduce the weight on the trailer, that could make things a lot more reliable. So just things that you learn as you look at it. Nothing that I've done is probably the right way, and I acknowledge that, but everything I've done was for a reason. And sometimes the reason was I just couldn't afford to do it the other way, or I couldn't get, I didn't have the money to buy the right parts, that kind of thing. One of the guys on the Sun Trip had a one-wheel trailer, similar idea to what I did, and I got to look at how his hitch was set up. There is one that you can buy, and at the time I couldn't afford to buy it. That's why I had to invent my own. But after looking at how his was set up, it sure was elegant, so that might be an option for later. There's definitely advantages to a one-wheel trailer. So the other thing, the reason I was thinking about it is, like tonight when I was pulling into this kind of spot, if I had just the bicycle without a trailer, I'd have a lot easier time getting into some of these little nooks and crannies out here. So that might be something to think about. Or if I had a one-wheel trailer, the one-wheel trailer would tend to follow the bike better through between bushes and stuff like that, so you could just kind of push it through them. So just random things I'm thinking about. Sounds like the helicopters are out after me, so I better shut down quick before the black helicopters get me, right? Yeah. Alright, that's it for now. Bye for later. Bye. That's it for now. Bye. See you later.